Hello, welcome back to the Land Rover show. And we're going to install the axles. And I already went over to a friend's house and swapped out this piece of the axle on this one, because you could see there it was just sitting there for all them years with no oil or nothing, so the threads just kind of rusted to death. So now I got a new end on there with some good threads and everything. And I polished up this part of it where it rides in bushing inside the axle. Right here too. This is the other side. So, you know, this is the difference. This was sitting in oil, like the truck was leaning to the side. So this one, look how beautiful those threads look. Everything looks perfect. And this is what happened to the other side of the truck whenever it had no oil on it. And it was all just exposed to sitting inside the axle and the freewheel hubs. So these are ready to go. So we pressed these out, the U-joint, and put it right back in. I'm reusing the same one because it's pretty solid. They're both, there's no movement in the U-joints. So okay, I'm going to install these in next. Okay, I got the axles on both sides. So the next thing I'm going to be working on is the brakes. I'm going to put them together. Wheel cylinders, the shoes, everything all in one shot. And I kept them separated, the driver's side, passenger side, which would be the left-hand side and right-hand side, because these wheel cylinders are actually handed. They need to be on the left-hand side, right-hand side, and these ones as well, which is weird because I thought they would just make them to be the same. But anyways, they are actually different, even though they look the same. They have different part numbers on them. So speaking of part numbers, even though the brake plates, they look similar, but they're actually different from each other. Just a little bit like a mirror image of the other one. So if you look here, cool thing about whenever you clean up old parts like this is when you see numbers stamped into it. So 44635 is the driver's side. I used the Sharpie there and put a D on there for driver's side. And over here, and you clean it up, it's 44636. 636 is the passenger side, so it'd be the right-hand side, and this would be for the left-hand side. So they actually make kind of like a mirror image of each other with the way everything mounts. So I'm going to put the brake pieces together, which is very simple. You put this on, you got this spring, goes onto here for this shoe, and then this is the adjuster, and it rests inside here. Again, this one goes, well, this one flips over like this. This goes in here. This end goes into here. Then there's your spring, and so on. Oh, wait, no, that was right before. It goes like that. This big flat part rests inside this groove here. And then the smaller end goes inside your wheel cylinder. So I'm going to put all these together now, both sides. So then I could just put them on then. Okay, so I got the brakes on, and what I did is I used this brake tool, which is just kind of like an old school brake drum tool, which is comes in pretty handy or whatever. So what I did is on the end of these, they have a little cup, and then on the end of each side, you see the little cups. So what you do is you put your brake shoe on and get the spring over to here. Then what you do is that cup, you put that into the end of the spring, and you put the cup on top of this piece, and you put that hook onto like about right here or whatever. So what you do is you just kind of lift up and you pry it up onto here, and you kind of pry and you lift it up onto there, and the spring pops right onto the stud without trying to pry these up. I've done that before plenty of times, but this is a neat little tool. I almost forgot that I had it. This end, I'm not sure what you use this end for, but this is another spring thing to get on top of it. You could probably use it again for something, some type of spring, but this one works good to take it and you slide it. Again, you hook it onto the end here, then you lift up and it kind of slides, and the hook slides right down, hooks onto there. So these are both on. So I'm going to go put them over by the truck. We're on to the stub axles. These stub axles One is the rusted side and one was the clean side. It had all the oil in it, but they still, I had some problems with this trying to get the wheel bearing on. So I had the inner one and then the outer one here. So I test fit the outer one. It slid onto this one, no problem. This one I went on and it only went to about right here. So all this nastiness right here, all that rust that was sitting here, it was all inside here and up on here too. So I took some emery cloth like this, put it in a vise, and I kind of like worked it back and forth, like spun it on there like this. So I kind of like worked and cleaned this edge up here. I did a little bit on this one just to give it a good clean up. Then I could slide that outer bearing on, no problem on here. So then I test fit the outer one, since the inner one, I guess, that was the outer one, the inner one now. And it would not go on this one at all, because it's all banged up and rusted around here. And this is the one I had a problem getting this ring on too. So this whole thing must be out of whack. Like just too big and rusted and out of circle, or out of, is that circular or concentric? It would be out of that. So again, I took the emery paper and I did a lot on this one actually to get that surface to be clean enough or round enough so I could slide the bearing on. So that was a big pain in the butt. Then this one wasn't so bad. I gave it a quick polish. It wasn't as bad as this one. This one, it took like about at least a half hour of just polishing, because I didn't want to over sand it and get too crazy on there. So this one I did just a little bit and it slips on pretty good. They both slip. There's still a snug fit, but they slip on there pretty good. So now I know they both fit on there, the inner and outer. So this is such a bear to get these things clean and to get this to work right. So this is the end of the video for today. I think the next one will be the actual assembling of the brakes. We'll get the brake drum on there. We'll talk a little bit about brake lines and how I'm going to rotate the brakes and everything. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Thank you for the comments and thank you for the positive words all the time. So everybody have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.